Okay, this take that being apolitical is bad is one of the most irritating and stupid takes a leftist anybody could say. Especially woke-toids and the economically illiterate ones. Okay, I now this doesn't really apply to me, but this is kind of calling out woke-toids and just out in the wild. But the issue with just going after apolitical people is it's kind of silly. Somebody not caring about politics is just simply them not caring about politics. You can't no, you cannot care about politics. You cannot care about them. That is fine. That is fine if you do not care about them. Somebody can still have good moral values and be a good person and not care about politics. I have relatives that don't care about politics that much, but they're good people. And does that mean I'm going to go after them and call them horrible people for not pointing out every time Trump, for every little word Trump does, and in Trump taking in Iran? No. This tack, and also in this video she mentions people are dying is not an argument. That is emotional blackmail and an emotional argument. That is an appeal to emotion. You are not making a logical argument of why being apolitical is bad. You are simply saying more people dying and more apolitical people bad. This immature mindset everybody has to be in the politics, it's just insane. And just in quoting the liberal hive mind, these people's brains are bombarded by propaganda. It's absolutely insane. But anyways, just like the Emaru situation and crap, going after apolitical people is some of the dumbest crap I've ever seen. It is not a crime. You're not hurting anybody doing it. People can just focus on their lives. Because in the grand scheme of things, there's people doing the good political work. Not everybody has to be ultra committed. And I'm going to tell you, what's hilarious is you're committed to one of the dumbest ideologies, like the Green Party socialism. I'm just going to say the ECP. But anyways, it's also just mentally not healthy for anybody of any side to be constantly obsessed with politics. Which, even I've made that mistake before. The problem is you'll stress yourself out, and eventually you can become deranged or delusional if you're not careful. And I'm not saying that for political commentators and stuff, but I'm talking about that. And there's just simply put, there's some things people don't care about. Snap or whatever your name is. You can't guilt trip people into doing that. You can't just call more people evil and just say more people dying. Look, that isn't good people are dead, but that's emotional blackmail. Using their suffering to push your garbage ideology is honestly pretty horrible. You do not have to keep up with politics. That's fine. People can be people and focus on their lives. There's nothing wrong with that. Unless you want to argue a bunch of indirect nonsense. More privilege? What the fuck does that mean? Why should you be guilty of privilege? I'm not going to be guilty of being higher than somebody in fucking Asia or Africa. I'm not going to be guilty for who I am. Telling people they're privileged is just telling them to be guilty for nothing. It's collective guilt. Privilege is what it is just simply a status you were in. And what the hell am I supposed to do about that? What the hell is a rich person, is some more wealthy kid than I supposed to do about that? What? But basically, this mob mentality of, okay, get into our ideology or else. Snap and any other leftist, no, you're actually, this kind of behavior from y'all is why I call this stuff out. This behavior of going after people that don't fit your beliefs is insane. You are not tolerant of people, Snap. You are a hypocrite. You are a fucking hypocrite. You're not accepting of conservatives. You're not accepting of Trump supporters. You're not accepting of people like me. You are a hypocrite because you call everybody you disagree with hateful. You people are hypocrites and so self-contradictory. It's the ideology itself. No, Charlie Kirk did not think that he should. And this is a controversial take, but he should have not been killed. Killing somebody for simply a thought and not an action is ridiculous. I wouldn't just how it would be wrong to shoot Nick Fuentes. It would be wrong to shoot the AOC. It'd be wrong even if those were very demonstrably bad beliefs. But no, Charlie Kirk didn't even say that. There's a clip of him saying like gay conservatives should stay in the movement, which you know that you can look that clip up. I'm not lying. I forgot what it's called exactly, but yeah.
It came off in the ocean and it's gone. And there's people that are dying.
Yeah, emotional blackmail is not an argument, Snap. Actually make a logical argument and not just guilt tripping, because guilt tripping is manipulative. But yeah, this is more behavior. I'm showing you more of this behavior out in the wild of these woke people. Now, I'll see you on another video.